Welcome. We bring you Japan's latest news every day. AI sums up what matters, so you can stay informed in English in just a few minutes. If you find it helpful, please like and subscribe. Typhoon number 9 to approach Okinawa's Sakishima Islands with extremely strong intensity. Residents urged to prepare today. A large and extremely powerful typhoon number 9 is expected to approach the Sakishima Islands in Okinawa Prefecture with very strong intensity from Friday the 10th through Saturday the 11th. Winds are forecast to gradually strengthen throughout Okinawa starting on the 9th, with violent winds expected in the Sakishima Islands from the 10th onward. The Meteorological Agency is urging residents to remain alert for building damage, power outages, and landslides. Residents are advised to complete all necessary typhoon preparations today, including securing food and drinking water and preparing flashlights. Please check the latest typhoon information and take all necessary safety precautions. 4 years since former Prime Minister Abe's shooting. Many pay respects at memorial site in Nara. It has been 4 years since former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was shot in Nara City. On that day, gunfire erupted suddenly during a campaign speech for the House of Councillors election, and former Prime Minister Abe was killed. A memorial flower stand has been set up near the site again this year, and many citizens have been visiting since early morning. A continuous stream of people has been laying flowers, with expressions of condolence coming from across the country. The National Police Agency has strengthened security around the memorial site to ensure safety. The death of former Prime Minister Abe delivered a major shock to Japan's political world. 4 years later, many people continue to visit to lay flowers, never forgetting that tragic incident, and praying for his peace in the afterlife. Fukuoka mayor says Prefectural Legislator demanded 50 million yen when he ran for office, says he refused but was shocked. Fukuoka Mayor Sakishima has revealed that when he decided to run in the 2010 mayoral election, he received a demand for 50 million yen from a prefectural assembly member. Mayor Sakishima states that he refused the demand and has commented that he considers it to have been clearly inappropriate conduct. Currently, financial transactions surrounding the position of prefectural assembly chairmanship have become a problem, and questionable financial practices within the assembly have come under scrutiny. Mayor Sakishima reflected on being shocked by the legislator's demand at the time, while emphasizing that he firmly rejected it. In light of these issues, the Prefectural Assembly is believed to be engaged in discussions about ensuring transparency and establishing appropriate political activities. Akiko Hayashi, illustrator of My First Errand, passes away at 81. Akiko Hayashi, author of beloved children's books including My First Errand and Good Evening, Mr. Moon, which have been cherished across generations, passed away on the 1st of this month from pneumonia. She was 81 years old. Ms. Hayashi had been active in the world of children's literature since the 1950s, and was known for her warm illustrations and careful portrayal of children's emotions. Her representative work, My First Errand, is highly regarded as a gentle expression of the joy of growth, depicted through a child's experience of running an errand alone for the first time. Additionally, many of her works, including Good Evening, Mr. Moon, continue to be read in daycare centers and homes today, leaving a significant mark on Japanese children's literature. Ms. Hayashi's works are characterized by their warmth that resonates with children's hearts, and will continue to be beloved by many generations to come. Neanderthals and modern humans may have exchanged culture. Evidence found in Turkish cave. A research team from Kyoto University and other institutions announced that shells discovered in a cave in southern Turkey provide evidence of possible cultural exchange between Neanderthals and modern humans, or Homo sapiens. The shells bear traces of being processed as ornaments and are believed to date from a period when both species coexisted. Until now, it was thought that Neanderthals and modern humans followed separate evolutionary paths. However, this discovery suggests they may have lived in the same region and influenced each other culturally. The research team points out that these shells serve as an important clue to understanding interaction between the two species, making this a notable finding that deepens our understanding of human evolution and cultural development. KDDI email system breach exposes mail addresses for 12.23 million users. A major data breach has been discovered in an email system provided by KDDI to businesses. According to KDDI's investigation, approximately 12.23 million email addresses were leaked due to unauthorized access. Additionally, passwords for approximately 7.6 million of those users were also compromised. KDDI is urging affected users to change their passwords and says it is conducting a thorough investigation into the cause of the breach. The company has indicated it will work to strengthen information security measures going forward. Opposition parties submit bill to provide relief for wartime air raid victims. 7 opposition parties have submitted a bill to the Diet aimed at providing relief to people who suffered damages from air raids during the Pacific War. The centerpiece of the bill is a payment of 500,000 yen per eligible person. During the war, many Japanese citizens lost their homes to fires or suffered physical injuries from air raids, but there has been no official relief system in place until now. The opposition argues that swift action is necessary to aid victims, many of whom are now elderly. The government's response to the bill will also be closely watched. LDP informs of deferral in Diet seat reduction bill deliberations. Centrist coalition calls for focused debate. As partisan tensions continue in the lower house, the Diet Affairs Committee chairs of the LDP and the Centrist Reform Coalition held talks. At this meeting, the LDP conveyed that it would defer deliberations on the lower house seat reduction bill during the current Diet session. Instead, the party intends to proceed with deliberations on other key bills, including the Imperial Household Law revision. Meanwhile, the Centrist Reform Coalition is demanding that focused deliberations be held on the seat reduction issue, and adjustments regarding future Diet operations are drawing attention. June Street Level Sentiment Index rises for second consecutive month. Government upgrades assessment to signs of recovery. According to the Cabinet Office's June Economic Watcher Survey, the index reflecting street-level economic sentiment rose for the second consecutive month compared to the previous month. There are growing signs that working people are sensing improvements in the economy. The Cabinet Office has upgraded its assessment of the current economic situation to signs of recovery, taking into account factors such as diminishing concerns about Middle East tensions. Retail and food service businesses appear to be beginning to feel a pickup in consumer spending. However, uncertain factors remain, including future price increases and the trajectory of overseas economies, and attention is focused on how far the recovery in economic momentum will continue. National average gasoline price holds at 169 yen and 90 sen per liter as government subsidies keep prices around 170 yen. Here is an update on gasoline prices. According to a survey by the Petroleum Information Center, the retail price of regular gasoline as of July 6 stands at an average of 169 yen and 90 sen per liter nationwide. This represents an increase of 10 sen from the previous week. Thanks to government subsidies, gasoline prices are continuing to hover around the 170 yen level. Even as crude oil prices fluctuate, subsidies are effectively suppressing price increases, a situation that is expected to continue. Stock prices fall sharply as overheating in AI and semiconductor-related sectors comes into focus. The Tokyo Stock Exchange declined significantly on the 8th as investors became conscious of overheating in AI and semiconductor-related stocks, intensifying selling pressure. The Nikkei 225 closed down 1,437 yen and 91 sen from the previous day at 66,819 yen and 5 sen, marking a substantial drop. Recently, these related stocks had been purchased rapidly against the backdrop of the swift proliferation of generative AI and expanding semiconductor demand linked to it. However, profit-taking sales emerged, and it appears investors' concerns about inflated valuations have become more widespread. Market analysts point out that close attention to future developments will be necessary. U.S. military strikes Iran. Treasury Department to revoke oil sales approval as Iran condemns actions. The U.S. military confirmed on the 7th that it has conducted military operations against Iran. The strikes are described as retaliation for Iran's attack on commercial vessels transiting the Strait of Hormuz. Additionally, the U.S. Treasury Department has announced plans to revoke previously granted permits for Iranian crude oil sales. This move will further tighten economic sanctions against Iran. Iran has strongly condemned the American military action, and tensions in the Middle East region are escalating. The Strait of Hormuz is a critical global oil shipping route, and developments in the situation could have significant impacts on crude oil prices and beyond. Taiwan warns of China's efforts to change status quo along First Island chain, calls for coordinated international response. Taiwan has expressed serious concerns about China's activities along the First Island chain, which stretches from Japan's southwestern islands to the Philippines. Taiwanese authorities point out that China is steadily advancing efforts to change the status quo in this region. Specific examples include the expansion of military activities and maritime advancement. In response to this situation, Taiwan is calling on the international community to strengthen coordination with Taiwan. Taiwan argues that it is crucial for related countries, including Japan and the Philippines, to work together in addressing these common challenges, and emphasizes the necessity of international cooperation toward maintaining regional stability and peace. Russia's military invasion of Ukraine. Developments on July 8. Updates. Russia's military invasion of Ukraine continues to see fierce fighting across multiple regions on July 8. In the eastern Ukrainian regions of Donetsk and Kharkiv, Russian and Ukrainian forces are engaged in intense combat operations, forcing many civilians to flee the country to escape artillery strikes. According to the United Nations, millions of people have already fled Ukraine, and the humanitarian crisis is deepening. Meanwhile, the international community continues to demonstrate its commitment to providing military support to Ukraine, while also exploring diplomatic solutions. World leaders have issued repeated calls for condemnation and tougher sanctions against Russia. The outlook for an end to the fighting remains unclear at this time. U.S. military announces new strikes against Iran in response to tanker attacks. U.S. Central Command announced on the 7th that it has launched a series of powerful attacks against Iran in response to Iran's attacks on 3 commercial vessels transiting the Strait of Hormuz. Central Command announced late on the 7th via social media platform X that it initiated the strikes to impose significant costs on attacks targeting commercial vessels crewed by innocent people in international waters. Central Command stated that Iran's demonstrated hostile actions are unjustified, dangerous, and a clear violation of the ceasefire agreement. In response, Iran's Deputy Foreign Minister Kazem Gharibabadi said the American strikes violate the Memorandum of Understanding, MO, signed by both countries on June 17, and warned that the Iranian government will take resolute measures. According to the UK Maritime Trade Operations, UKMTO, on the 6th, an unidentified projectile struck the engine room of a tanker in the Strait of Hormuz, causing a fire. On the 7th, one tanker was attacked by an unidentified projectile, and another tanker by an unmanned aerial vehicle, UAV, both sustaining structural damage. No casualties have been reported. Prior to Central Command's announcement of new strikes, a U.S. official speaking on condition of anonymity emphasized that American negotiators will continue efforts, in good faith, toward a final agreement with Iran. Far-right Le Pen announces candidacy for French presidential election, signals intent to appeal conviction. Marine Le Pen, former leader of France's far-right National Rally Party, announced on the 7th her intention to run in next year's presidential election. She also indicated plans to appeal to the highest court after an appeals court upheld her conviction for misuse of public funds, which included a one-year mandatory electronic monitoring bracelet. In a primetime television interview, Le Pen expressed her determination, saying, "The election campaign begins tonight." She further stated she would use every legal means to prove her innocence and would appeal to the Court of Cassation, France's highest civil court. The appeal will suspend the electronic bracelet requirement until the verdict is delivered, which is expected early next year. If the appeals court ruling is upheld, Le Pen would be forced to wear the bracelet during the most critical phase of her campaign, a development that could prove disadvantageous and humiliating for her. Le Pen has previously argued that if required to wear the electronic bracelet, she would not be able to campaign completely freely, and she has repeatedly indicated she would not run for president under such circumstances. When asked during the interview about the possibility of not running, Le Pen responded, "No, that's not the case. I came here tonight to tell you that I am a candidate in the 2027 election." She stressed her determination was unwavering, saying she would immediately begin her campaign to begin France's revival.